Hey, JPA, Sean, great work. All right, we got a really exciting match coming up here. I think it's pretty even. Artosis, we got Ret going up against Sen. Why don't we talk a little bit about Sen first?
Well, we could talk about each of them endlessly. We've known them for years and years and years, way back into the early days of StarCraft 1. Sen, though, he is an ultimate legend. Even in StarCraft 1, when no non-Korean players could really compete with the Koreans, they all respected Sen.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny. He's so much better than everybody else in Taiwan. He just wins everything. And, yeah, you and I both have had a lot of experience playing with him in StarCraft 1 especially. And I could say I've been manhandled by this guy actually more than any other Zerg in StarCraft 1 for me. So he's a very talented player. I have a lot of respect for him. Now, why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about his opponent, Liquid Ret.
Well, Ret is one of the greatest macro players of all time, Tasteless. He is unbelievably strong in the macro departments, but sometimes he lack a little bit in the other ones. You know, he loves to make his drones. He loves to get a very strong economy. And if you catch him off guard during that area, sometimes he's quite easy to take down.
Yeah, you know, this guy, he made the pilgrimage to Korea multiple times. Was it 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, he's been over in Korea
I've started to lose count, but he's been over there several times to train in StarCraft 1 as well as StarCraft 2, and he is just a very talented, ambitious, hardworking person, and he puts a lot on himself in these matches. So I think maybe Sen by just a little bit could be the favorite, but then again, I could very well easily be wrong. Ret is very talented.
You know, they're both about the same skill level. Both of them can make amazing games against anyone in the world. I'm talking Nesty, MVP, anybody. These guys can go toe-to-toe with. But it seems like overall, over the years, Sen has been a little bit more solid, especially in his ZVZ. So, yeah, I'm going to go just a little edge for Sen here.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you then. By the way, if you're unfamiliar with Artosis and myself, we are from Seoul, Korea. We cast the show, the GSL, the most competitive esports show on earth. You guys been watching the GSL at all? Well, that's good to know.
I hope they watch it tonight, Tasteless. It's going to be a lot of fun.
But yeah, we're going to be doing the finals later on tonight, so definitely join us for that.
And both these players, I just want to point out, have competed in the GSL. That's how good they are. They are tip-top level, no doubt.
Yeah, hardly any non-Koreans get the chance to compete in the GSL. They can't really get through Code B, which is our filter tournament, to even get them in there. So, you know, they're very, very skilled, and they're going to get probably pretty deep into this tournament. All right, I have the request from the players to start the game. So I want to know, are you guys ready to start the game? All right.
Well, here we go, Tasteless.
It's time.
Sen against Ret, 2 of the absolute best international players ever. StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, both the games.
Yeah. Very scary. The game is now loading. Ret against Sen. A lot on the line right now as we're getting pretty deep in this BlizzCon tournament. Introducing the players now over here in the bottom left, wishing his opponent good luck, have fun, and GG. Is Liquid Ret. Make some noise. In the opposite starting location, over here in the upper right, we have a legend, an old school StarCraft 1 Zerg turned into one of the best StarCraft 2 Zergs to the date. Make some noise for Sen.
Sen, of course, a huge fan favorite, Tasteless. He is someone who has even recently beaten some of the top players in the world. If anyone watched that NASL tournament earlier this year, we had Sen going toe-to-toe with the absolute best. He might have won that tournament if it weren't for some tiny, tiny mistakes.
Yeah, he's so solid. These guys both really push themselves. I have so much respect. And to be totally frank, if I could just speak candidly with you guys, I think this should be a better Zerg versus Zerg than the previous best of 3 we casted.
Well, you know, these guys are legends. So,
they are.
You know, the up-and-comers, the underdogs, they have a ways to go, but Tudming actually is the guy who knocked Ret into the loser bracket. So, you know, but I think stylistically, Tudming is very good against Ret. Tudming loves aggression, he loves Zerglings.
Right.
Whereas Ret loves his drones.
Yeah, Ret, you know, if you had to compare him to another player, I would say think of Hydra, but with a little bit more harassment involved. He's very solid.
Well, we have Ret going for a pool first build. It's a very safe build, but at the same time, Sen is actually going to go for a hatchery first, and there's a little bit of rock paper scissors in which build is good in this matchup against which other build. There's the 10 pool is good against what Sen is doing. What Sen is doing is good against what Ret is doing. What Ret is doing is good against the 10 pool. So Sen has a small lead going into this as far as build orders go.
Yeah, they are in cross spots. In other words, this is as far away as you can possibly be from your opponent. So it may be one of our longer Zerg versus Zergs as far as, who can kill the other guy. And, that's going to be pretty impactful here because going into game number 2, you're going to have the necessary stamina to basically, pull through with a win in the best of 3.
That is quite right. Well, right now, Ret does have a few Zerglings out. Looks like he's going to make a few more and speed, sending these over towards Sen, see if he can get some harassment on. But, the problem is that Sen is going to have that expansion up. He's going to be able to make Zerglings. I don't expect him to lose really anything, maybe one drone if he messes up. And that's going to put him at a temporary advantage against Ret, during which, if Sen just goes mass speedling, Ret must then counter with Banelings.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have some Lings moving up here into Sen's base. These are just to take out a few drones, do some scouting. Let's see if Sen can make all of his drones survive.
And, well, one is taking a lot of damage right there, but some Zerglings do come down. The drones do turn, and it doesn't look like he's going to do too much damage with these Lings, especially as Sen has more popping out.
All right, nice job here by Sen driving out his opponent. Nice placement here by the Spine Crawler covering the ramp as well as the majority of the minerals over here.
And, Ret's already done a great job. Right now, it is 20 drones for Ret, 18 for Sen. So he already has more drones, but with that extra hatchery, with any additional queens that Sen is going to choose to make, he's going to be able to get ahead on the larvae slightly.
Yeah, absolutely. The Baneling's nest now complete for Ret. And we're going to have to see here, is there a Roach Warren up here yet for Sen? There is not. So Banelings could be pretty deadly. When the Roach Warren completes, obviously Banelings are still dangerous, but the threat sort of diminishes. And now we see Sen also making his own Baneling nest. So very similar tech paths here.
Also, Ret adding a lot of Zerglings right now. He may be going for some aggression. And if he does, I'm going to be a little bit scared for him. Sen's Baneling nest isn't too slow. He has a couple queens.
Right.
He hasn't actually spread his creep yet, so it'll take a while for the main queen to get down. But he has plenty of units, and it looks like neither player really can kill each other, and this should go into a roach game from here.
Yeah, absolutely should. We have one or two scouting Zerglings coming through here, both destroyed with ease. And I got to say, Sen's defense here, perfect. See the wall of Zerglings here, the Spine Crawler, queen placement, everything looking pretty good. Meanwhile, over here in Liquid's red base, we see the Roach Warren has been started.
He's, in fact, getting +1 attack as well, getting a few Banelings for defense at his natural. Just very standard play. Whereas Sen is actually morphing a few at the watchtower. This is a little bit interesting. It looks like he wants to maybe run in there without being scouted and see if he can get some damage on.
I believe that those Zerglings did have vision and caught wind of those Banelings here from Sen. So here's what you want to do. You want to take one or two Zerglings and try to have them detonate on the Banelings. They're moving up now, going in towards the expansion here. And we have one stray Baneling moving over here. And he's now, I don't know the story with that Baneling. Okay, so nice, taking out a few Zerglings here. Sen spilling into Ret's main, but it looks like Ret may have enough to reinforce.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy with both players there on the Banelings, but that was one big one at the end by Sen. The supply of Sen actually well over Ret's by about 9. Ret, though, chasing him back to his base while Sen gets that Roach Warren up.
All right, more and more drones coming out here now for Sen. Meanwhile, a Zergling attack coming in over here. Remember, the Spine Crawler gets, in this case, out of position here, but it's not worth it. It's a little bit too risky. He evacuates.
Well, it looks like we're going to have the first layer tech going up Tasteless in the main base of Liquid Ret. He's going to go ahead, start teching up, realizing, well, I can't kill you right now. I need some more upgrades, maybe some roach speed, maybe a +2 roach attack. And I have to go to layer for that.
Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings.
Running right by the Banelings. So dangerous, but now it looks like it may pay off greatly. Beautiful microbiome.
Getting about, half of them there. And there's a lot of Zerglings, Artosis. They can do a lot of damage. Nice control. Getting him here and kind of where the queen goes down.
And that's always big to kill off a queen but Sen's supply still way up. He's at 87 against 60 supply. How in the world has Sen gotten up by almost 30 supply right now? It's absolutely madness.
That's actually the real story here is Sen mysteriously taking a lead, I assume just by, making stuff faster, to be completely blunt. I guess Ret fell behind a little bit. While we have some downtime, I do want to point this out because I really like this. See how Ret, he has this little train of overlords out here, just so he has an idea of what's going on outside of his base. He doesn't do it too far out there so he could come hunt it down. And same here for Sen. And these are the small, subtle things that if you don't really take notice of, you wouldn't realize why these guys are as good as they are. It's all these little things.
Well, the roaches are moving across the map. Sen is doing nothing but make roachling right now, and has a few banelings as well, a little bit closer because they are slower. Ret, on the other hand, is going to start defending in his natural base. He's throwing up some spine crawlers. He's making as many roaches as possible, and in fact, even canceling some of his upgrades, realizing that he's being a bit too greedy.
Here he comes now, Sen barreling up into the mid. Nice target fire here by Ret. That's definitely going to come in handy. But I don't know, there just might be too much stuff.
Maintenant, vous pouvez imprimer d'où vous voulez.
The spine crawler's 10% away from being complete, but will they be done in time? It looks like all the damage might have already been made by the time they have completed here. The drones now, a real sign of desperation here from Ret as he comes out trying to defend. The drones now backing up. I think we may very well have GG pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like it. Tasteless. Sen just being such a monster here with these roaches. Ret has nothing left, making a few more roaches, but not even enough to kill off what's already in his base, let alone what's being rallied there. And GG, Sen takes game 1 against Ret.
Wow. It's an interesting game because normally we would say, there was this moment where, he miscontrolled a dozen Zerglings, and that's when he got behind, or, did you see how many drones were killed? But instead, that was more of one of these games where, Artos and I just look at the supply, and I'm like, wait a minute. He's just making more stuff more quickly. I mean, he's just mechanically playing better than his opponent. And that's actually a pretty surprising thing. I think Ret, as good of a player as he is, he might be in a little bit of trouble here. We're going to go and join into this next game. As you can see, Sen from the team Gamma Bears, actually a very great esports team from Taiwan, is up 1-0 against Team Liquid.net's Ret.
Well, Ret's going to have a hard time coming back from this. If Sen is up 1-0 on you, he's normally going to finish you off. I mean, he has 2 chances now to beat Ret in a ZVZ, and Sen, as we saw there, he was just immaculate. He was never in trouble. He had all his timings down. He got as big of an economy as he could without being greedy.
Yes, Sen, a very intimidating player. This is a guy that all the Korean players know about. Korea at times can be very insular, especially with its esports scene and stuff, and the players know who else is out there. Not anymore. Even in Starcraft 1, players knew who Sen was. So he's very scary, and I'm really hoping we can see a better game here from Ret.
Well, I hope so, Tasteless. Do you guys hope so? Because we're ready to start.
Are you guys ready for game number 2?